Guys, what is up? Welcome to another episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is sort of going to be a cross between a scent safari and a quick take video. Normally I do scent safaris when a new house sends me 4 or more fragrances, so I can sort of pick 4 out that I think you guys would be interested in. I reached out to Vartan. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but I reached out to Vartan. They sent me 2 fragrances, so I'm going to do a sort of mini scent safari video on Vartan fragrances, but I like to make scent safari a really deep dive into a brand when I can smell a lot of their work. So it's going to be a sort of quick take scent safari, if that makes sense. Quick take videos are sort of more when a brand that I'm familiar with sends me a scent, or I get my hands on a scent, and I've already talked about that brand on this site. Now, I reached out to Vartan Fragrances because a subscriber of mine actually hit me up and was like, you know, you're working with all these niche brands, I recommend you take a look at this house. So I reached out, and Kristen Vartan was nice enough to send me 2 fragrances. I was also able to find out that Kristen is a winemaker and an artist who opened her own house, so that's pretty neat. I'm going to link to the site where you can learn more about her and follow. She has a blog also from the Vartan site. Her fragrances are available there as well, and she also has candles. And the 2 fragrances that I'm going to speak to you guys about today, which you see in front of you, are available as well. The pricing on these: a 15 ml is going to go for $50, a 30 ml is going to go for $100, and a 60 ml is going to go for $200. So a little bit pricey for sort of indie, but if the quality is there, it's obviously well worth it. The one we're going to be talking about first is this guy right here. It's called Carnelian. The notes on this one are black pepper and cinnamon at the top, white tobacco, vetiver and carnation in the middle, amber, vanilla, and tonka bean in the base. So notes I definitely am a fan of. You guys know I like cinnamon, I like tobacco, I like vetiver, I like vanilla, and I like tonka. Now, I've messed around with this one for most of the day today, and I don't think this is a bad fragrance. For me, it's just not a lot there that gets me excited. Nothing really pops. It's really well blended. I actually, before I did this video, watched Sebastian. I think it's looking good, feeling good, smelling good. His channel, friend and reviewer that I love, and I actually thought exactly what he said. It was like, both of these fragrances smell so well composed. It's almost like they're not indie. They're more like niche. It's like someone who knows what they're doing is making these, and it's sort of like winemaking if you really think about it. Because I used to be a big wine guy. I don't drink as much. I went through a period where I didn't drink at all for a long time, and I recently sort of just got back into wines. And it's sort of like with wines, it's like wines are supposed to be subtle, and you're usually not supposed to be like surprised or like whoa when you drink a wine, unless it's really old and special, or it's like a varietal that's just a little bit different, like an Amarone, or you're not used to Rieslings and they're super sweet, or you know what I'm saying, like something a little bit different. They're subtle and they're supposed to be there for the long term, and you're supposed to really sort of taste them and really let them sit and sort of understand them slowly. And I sort of think that process is sort of transferred to the perfume making for this brand. With this one, I feel like it's really well blended. I do sort of get that cookie dough amber vibe that I like. I really appreciate that. But for me, with this one, I'm just going to be 100% honest. No notes really shine for me in this one. To be blunt, it would be hard for me to differentiate this between this and a bunch of other niche fragrances that are out there. So Carnelian probably won't be something that I'd wear. It's also very soft on my skin. I tested this one pretty thoroughly today, and it was just not hard. It was hard for me to really get any projection or sillage. The longevity's fine, but it just didn't really pop for my skin. I let some other people smell it, and they just didn't really get much out of it as well. It's a really nicely blended, spicy fragrance, and if you like softer fragrances, it might be up your alley, so I'll say that. The second one is called Library. And the notes on this one are bergamot and leather at the top, tobacco, fig leaf, and whiskey in the middle, sandalwood, musk in the base. And this scent is the reason why I'm glad when brands always send me more than one scent, because you just never know. And if you don't like one, you don't want to give that brand a bad look because you didn't like the one scent you got to check out from them. And I say that because I really do like Library. I think this is a great scent, and all the notes really shine here. Now, I do have to say this, and this isn't a negative thing. It's just I want to be, again, honest. When I hear a fragrance called Library, I've smelled other scents inspired by libraries. I think dark, dusty, mahogany, maybe that vanillic, old page, old paper vibe. And there's a little bit of that here with tobacco and whiskey, but the tobacco is sort of more of a tobacco leaf for me, a raw tobacco leaf, than that sort of dark tobacco vanille pipe tobacco. To me, this one is about fig leaf and leather, instead of being a dark library and a castle, that a maester from Game of Thrones is going to get, Grand Maester Pycelle is going to get a book from, and read slowly for a long time to someone. It's not that sort of a scent. It doesn't present that kind of vibe to me. So I think the name is a little confusing, but I really like this scent. I think this is a really good scent. It's super wearable. I love this. To me, it's fig and bergamot. It's juicy and it's leather. So it's sort of like fruity leather. I don't get the library name, I just, to me, again, I'm sure, Kristen had her reasons for naming it that, and it's all good. I think it's a really good scent. I think if you like fig and leather, sort of green leather fragrances, it sort of reminds me a little bit of Irish Leather by Memo, which is I think a wonderful fragrance. I appreciate this one. I would wear this one. I don't know if I'd buy it. I'd have to sit with it a little bit longer to really make the determination of whether or not this is something I'd buy. But I enjoy this one. I think I would be a great springtime or fall scent. There's a lot of potential within this one. So yeah, as I said, guys, it's hard to do a real takeaway. I feel like looking at two fragrances to give a formulation about a brand to you guys. But really good wines. The best wines I've had are subtle. I've had amazing Barolos and Super Tuscans and just amazing Pinot Noirs from Oregon, and of course from Burgundy that are just that are subtle. So I can really see the work here of a transition from a winemaker to a perfumer. For me, Carnelian was a little too subtle for me, but I do like scents that just pop and give me something right away. Library's a nice scent, sort of different from other scents with the theme, but beautiful, I would say. So I would advise you to check the site out and see if there's any scents that up your alley. Maybe grab a sample of one of these, if they've seem to be up your alley. And of course, I'd be more than happy to look at anything else Vartan does. I'd love to know if you looked at anything from this house, what you like from them, and maybe we'll take a look at more from them in the future. Definitely like Library. We'll be wearing my sample, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you again later this week with more videos, guys. You already know what it is. My name is Maximilian. I must know. Also, if there's a brand you would like to see featured on Scent Safari that I have not yet covered on this channel, please reach out, let me know, and I will try to get in touch with the house. Peace out.